The views shared in this episode represent Kelli and Kendra, not our mamas, partners, church, job, or sponsors.
It is December 19th. I'm not quite sure how we got here.
Of 2025. That means I'm 50 years old in some days.
Happy birthday. Wow. Do you want to tell the people about the most spectacular party of my life?
Sure.
We're going to have the producer put a little clip of Kendra in her fancy outfits that's plural, y'all.
Yeah, so how about, maybe it might be more interesting for you to talk about my party.
Oh, wow. One, I was really proud that you have grown-up resources to do grown-up shit.
Baby, I guess.
And that you got to have the party of all of our dreams. So Kendra had these lovely ladies who had feathers and sequins and top hats greet us at the door with champagne on the tray. And I was like, I wasn't ready. I don't have my camera. And then it was a beautiful bread. And then it was a live band. And then to the left, it was a bar. And then across from the bar, it was this lady who was hand engraving your glasses. And then when you look past her, on the right was a very interactive photo booth. On the left was a spread of like pastas and things of that nature. And you kept going. Then there was a salad bar. And then you ended with the quiet area where you could go have a smoked some smoked brown liquor.
It was a whiskey bar.
And it had the beautiful couches and the pillows, and then
we call that soft
seating. I'm sorry, there's soft seating. Mm-hmm. And then on the tables were coasters celebrating Kendra's 50th birthday. It was just top tier. And then after the band was done, we had a DJ. So
the best in the land.
Kendra's aunt had the Holy Ghost out on the streets. My husband had his Prince fashion.
Your husband was mistaken. He was mistaken for the entertainment.
My husband was mistaken for the entertainment. He had the time of his life.
He sure did. I'd love to see it. Him and my dad probably had more fun than anybody there.
He had such a good time.
My mother was irritated because she's like, I looked through all the pictures and I only see myself in a few. Where was I? Why wasn't I not in more pictures?
Tell her me and her was probably in the corner somewhere.
Right. I said, you got to be out. Now, my dad was in almost all of them.
Because he was on the dance floor.
You got to be on the scene to be seen, sis.
Now, Mommy Ross conducted the choir of all choirs. I hope you can put some video of that somewhere out into the ethos.
I've received videos from several people of that. I'm going to also ask Corey if the photographer, videographer from CLW Creators, which did amazing work. I need to post his video clip on my IG. I might actually do that tonight or tomorrow. Probably do it tomorrow so I can write a really good caption thanking him and all the other vendors. But I'm sure he probably captured it. There's bits of it in the little video sizzle reel that he did.
And Mommy Ross was clear. If you can't sing,
just lip sync.
She said, hush.
And she does that for real at family events. So that was not even for show. Yeah, somebody at work was like, oh my God, I loved your choir director. I was like, you mean my mother? She was like, oh my God, that was your mom. I missed that part. I was like, yes, that's my mother. She's like, oh.
The cute part, though, for me was you in the back being the junior conductor.
Yeah, because I know everybody in the corner couldn't see her. So, I had to.
Very sweet.
Because I knew if people didn't follow the instructions, she would get mad. Well, she did. Yes. The other crazy part was when I was on stage giving my toast to myself or to the crowd and to the party and having my little moment thanking everybody. My dad was busy talking because and people had to tell him to hush. And at first, people was like, shh, they didn't know it was my dad. And then Tanika went over and was like, Dad, you gotta hush. She's up there talking. Matter of fact, she just shouted you out. You ain't here because you were too busy talking. Yo, the funniest. I won't name names, but somebody in my life who I love, a young man who is one of my various self-care practitioners, told me yesterday that he met my dad with his partner. And once my dad figured out that they were actually a couple, he said that my dad was like, "Oh, I support y'all." Like he wanted them to know that, like, I'm down, I'm good, and y'all good.
Yes.
And I was like, I'm sorry. He's like, no, I loved it. He said it with like such, like he meant it from the heart. I was like,
and did. That was hilarious.
my time was had. My little sister had a ball.
Your dad said
My
he was
brother,
peacock proud.
He said I was the shiznit.
Yes,
That's what he
he
told
was
me.
really sweet.
My brother and his partner Patrice looked like they were having a good time.
They were.
All my college friends, some were more active, some were back in the whiskey bar, back there chilling.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yep. We talked about it in the pod before, but just a lot of gratitude to have friends for so long.
Baby.
I didn't realize so many people didn't have friends. And we have an amazing group of friends.
I am rich.
Yeah.
Now I sound like T.S. Madison. I'm rich. Pardon me? I'm rich. I'm rich not because of dollars.
Yeah.
I am rich because, honestly, my relationships. And actually, I always, and when I don't say like key to my success, but like literally my key to like how I'm able to do anything that I'm able to do, because I'm always running around being all things to all people, is because of the people I have in my orbit.
Yeah.
And it was present there. Everybody who came to the party who knows me but doesn't, like, they're not like friends, were like, oh my God, like you could feel the love in the room. You know?
Yeah.
There's like your people was holding you down.
Absolutely.
You know? So yeah, I spent my retirement, part of my retirement to do it.
Michael, she did not mean that.
It was well. I did though. If he knew how much, Michael would probably stop speaking to me for like a good 90 days. But it was worth it. It really was, because it was one of those things that, like, if it was over tomorrow, I know, it was a moment in time. And for me, I had people who I know. Someone said it to me there. He was like, Kendra, you had no idea. Like, I didn't know I needed to be here, but now that I'm here, like, I needed to be here. He's like, this young man, he was like, he moved to Pittsburgh actually for a job there. And he said, I haven't experienced this kind of Blackness in Pittsburgh since I've been here.
Wow.
And he's been in Pittsburgh for probably 5-6 years. He's like, but you have everybody in here, not just Black people. He's like, but I haven't experienced it in this way. And he's like, you have no idea how much I needed this. And then I had another family friend who said to me, Kendra, like, oh man, you don't know what that did for me. And Tanika told me before the party, she's like, Kendra, you keep beating yourself up about the money, but you're not just doing this for you. You're doing this for the people you love. You want them to have an experience. And she was right. And then that was what made me excited. So after everybody kept telling me, oh man, that was one of the best parties I've ever been to.
I've told everybody. I was like, I'm gonna sneak you a video. I'm gonna check for, see if I can put it to the people. But yes, I want everyone to see what it looks like to just be free, even if it's for a couple hours.
That's what it is. It was a kind of marooning for me. It was like, listen, for these 5 hours in this space right now, we gonna be who we want to be with who we want to be it with.
Now Pittsburgh was cold as hell, but we was cute.
We was cute. We was hot in there because we was sweating and dancing. And it's funny because I had such an amazing time, but I didn't get to experience the party in the way other people did. Because you know what I mean. So like, I ain't have no food. All I had was the sliders at the end, which is I was grateful. I had a portobello slider and some fries. Didn't get any pasta, no salad. I didn't get any. There were supposed to be pasta hors d'oeuvres. Did you see a pasta hors d'oeuvre?
There were pasta hors d'oeuvres.
Okay, good. Okay, want to make sure because I paid for pasta hors d'oeuvres. I didn't even get to drink my signature drink. I forgot that I put a Hugo Spritz on my
Was that the purple one? Menu.
No, that's the French whatever.
That one, that is what had Prince activated.
That was so. To shout out to Greg. Greg was part of the curation of the alcoholic beverages because he came to my tasting.
Kudos, great.
And he started talking about drinks. I said, "No, you would think this is your party." He said, "Well, it sort of is. I turned 50 this year too." I said, "You right? Go ahead. You got
I
this."
love it.
So he was the curator of him and Alexis. Shout out to Alexis Allen, my illustrious celebrity event planner.
Yes.
Yeah, they curated most of the drinks. I curated the one drink I curated. I forgot to order. Then I was mad at them. Like, man, I didn't even get my spritz.
Oh, well, thanks for having wine.
Thank you. People kept bringing me water like I was drunk. I literally had one drink the whole
They
night.
just didn't want you to be dehydrated from all the sweating and things.
Yes, I literally had. I had a couple of sips of a champagne when I walked in. Then I had two quarters of two different versions of Aperol Spritz because I kept putting them down and forgetting them.
Hilarious.
But like I said, and I didn't get none of the engraved glasses. But again, I got the experience to have all the people and from all walks of life. I know, right? That's crazy. My chiropractor was like, because he was there. I love my chiropractor, his wife, and my trainer. Because my chiropractor owns my gym. He was like, "You got an eclectic mix of friends." He's like, "I love it."
And do.
Yeah. It was great. Anyway, I feel blessed. I've posted some things on the socials. I will post like my version of it because I was reposting other people's stuff, like vendors, and then we will somehow incorporate some clips and stuff or pictures in our post for this episode.
Awesome.
So with that,
what else has been happening in the group chat?
We'll be back after a quick break.
Are you a Black woman in middle management looking to elevate your leadership skills in a safe space? Then listen up, because I have something special just for you. Join a coaching group of like-minded women focusing on emotional intelligence, management skills, and leading in white spaces. In our group coaching sessions, you'll gain leadership skills, tools, and strategies. Plus, you'll gain a powerful network of sisters who understand your journey. No more leaning alone. Ready to take the next step? Visit www.IamKelly to learn more and join a cohort. Let's lead together.
Preparing for our trip to the continent.
Yes, we are going to Ghana in February, which is coming quickly.
Up less than 60 days. We're going to Ghana to celebrate our other dear friend's 50th birthday.
The last of the crew.
True.
Wow. So we've been talking about Ghana and vaccinations and all the things. What else have we been talking about? We've been talking about mental health and how the holidays can be very activating for a lot of people. So sending a lot of love, especially those who live in cold climates who are missing the sunshine right now. Yep.
Yeah, this also, like, this will be my second Christmas without a grandparent. Last year, I really loved the way my family, we came together, and like grandma's absence was like palpable, but we also had a joyful time. But it also felt weird because in that instant, my Aunt Janet, my mom, and Greg's mom, and my other Aunt Wendy, other people who are in their 60s and 70s became the elders to us because they were always like the next layer.
Yeah.
But now that grandma's gone, like Aunt Janet is the matriarch of the family, and it's very strange.
Yeah.
But it's a blessing, you know.
Yep.
That's why it was a blessing to have a praise break moment with her at my birthday party because she is now our matriarch. So.
That's interesting you say that. I put a post up. My sister-in-law texted me a picture yesterday, I guess it was, of us with her and her husband, me and my husband with her and her husband. And she didn't really say anything. She just sent it and I hearted it. But I was like, oh, wow. Like, she really, the family gives her a hard time because she always got the phone out taking some pictures. And I was like, oh, but she is the historian and she really is now the matriarch. We only have one elder cousin-ish, right, who's living. And so I was like, their parents are gone. And so I was like, oh, and she also keeps us connected. Like, she makes sure we go out for date night, and she makes sure people come to the house for Thanksgiving or after Christmas. And I'm just like, oh, she's too young to be a matriarch, but she is like fully the right person to be in that role. And so I just, before I forgot, because I'm trying to stop when I think of someone, I just did a little post for her on Facebook to say, you know what, sister-in-law, I got memories everywhere because you make sure that we always capture the moment and that we have the time together. So kudos to the matriarchs, young and old, who help shepherd our families to where we need to be.
Yep, for real. Shay, I saw that. And yeah, I think I've taken on the role of family historian. I'm the one that, like, before everybody, I said, yo, before everybody leave, let's get this played.
Yeah.
Every Thanksgiving, Christmas, I'm always the person said we got to get a picture.
Yeah.
Because of that reason. Because it's like everybody's like, oh, another picture, but I'm like, we take for granted that everybody in that picture is gonna be here again.
Yeah. Interesting you say that. My brother was teasing me because I have a screensaver. I had a screensaver of me as a young child because some of the work I'm doing in therapy, I'm just trying to get to know myself again from that age. And so my new picture is a picture, I'll have to send it to you, but it's me and my grandma.
Which grandma?
My father's mother. And she was my caretaker. She was the person I stayed with. My mom is she's a professional. She's a worker. And so she went back to work within like 6 weeks after I was born. And my grandmother was my caretaker. But some of the things I've been working on in therapy are about the fact that that's when I learned how to be a caretaker, because my grandmother was a diabetic. And so she and I are doing a little work together, me and my grandma. So, yeah.
That's interesting.
It is. It's a weird time of year. Like, I think a lot of missing people and wondering and reflecting, all those things are happening.
Absolutely. That lots of reflection. You know, I'm reflecting for lots of things because where we are politically, my milestone age, where the ages my parents are, because, I'm the eldest daughter, and so I'm always thinking about like, what does all this mean for everybody else? Where I'm at in my career, where I'm at in my relationship, where I'm at as like my auntie, like my nieces and nephews who I watched be born. One of them's about to graduate from high school, which is wild. So yeah, I feel that. I feel that deeply, and I feel that for other people, and just it's hard for me to see other people going through things for many reasons because I'm an empath, but I also recognize that, like, just as when good is in the neighborhood, that means it's coming your way. When not so good's in the neighborhood, it means it's possible that it's coming your way too.
Yeah, so. It's interesting you say that because as a recovering church girl, I have been learning about my horoscope, which, was not something that we did when I was growing up. And to your comment, I was sharing with someone how some of the hard stuff that was happening in my family this week made me run to the pattern app because I was like, oh, something is happening in my sign. And I remembered, because I have my notes about my sign in my phone, that I have a grand cross. And so people with a grand cross in their sign have periods of really high highs and then like extreme opposite of really low lows. And I was like, oh, that is what is happening. It explains this entire year. It has been rough. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. But what I love about the knowledge of my sign is the high. I know the high is coming back, and my highs be dope. So yeah, I'm going through hell right now, but when it flips, can't tell me nothing. And I just have to remember to like preserve a little bit of that to carry me when it gets bad again. So yeah.
Yeah, having that knowledge is awesome because I remember I used to have much lower lows than I have
Hmm.
now. Thankfully. But I remember like especially when I would have deep pain when I was dealing with fibroids and all that stuff,
Yeah.
I would say the mantra all suffering is temporary, all suffering is temporary, all suffering is temporary, all suffering. And so
I love that.
I I haven't had to use that as much. Um I feel like pain and struggle, suffering is the way I navigate it. It is just different.
Hmm.
But I think that's interesting. I don't know what my sign and all that stuff means with that, but I definitely can relate to
Yeah.
that periods of life where that was the truth for me.
Hmm.
I also can relate to periods of life when things were going well, like peak moments that the way hormones and adrenaline and all that stuff worked. That like as soon as I would get to a peak, I would naturally get dark. Even when I was like, for instance, I would have a great show.
Yeah.
And then on the way home from the show, I'd be crying and start going into a depression, and I couldn't tell why. So that just, I don't know what made me think of that, but that just made me think of just like the fragility of our psyche and how we have to have those tools. We have to have tools, and we have to have remembering of things like, okay, wait a minute,
Yeah.
I've been here before. This is how I can navigate this. I got the
Hmm.
tools. And I think in a time like this in the holidays, this is where we really
Need all the tools.
where we need all the tools.
Yep.
We need all the tools.
One thing I jokingly said in my group chat is I told my therapist, how lovely that you take care of yourself and want to spend time with people you love and that you'll be off for the next 2 weeks. I just want you to know you will likely come back to some chaos in my life because my family and the holidays do not do well together.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy for her. I hope she gets a lot of rest because she gonna earn every dime when she gets back. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure I have one more session with my therapist on Monday, and then knowing her, I'll probably won't talk to her again until after the new year.
It's interesting. We're talking about this right now because I was listening to a podcast episode. I'm going to shout them out because I thought it was a really great episode. This is Black Girls Heal. And the episode is You Don't Have to Be the Family Savior.
Child.
And I said, so you just gonna do me like that? So I've been getting dragged all week. I've been getting dragged all week about not saving the people from their lives. And as they say in recovery spaces, giving people the dignity of their own experience.
Yeah, that's real. I won it with one of my other best friends. I won't call the one out, but there's a short list, so you're gonna know one of them. I had that conversation with her today because she told me yesterday that her body is shutting down. She's tired, but then she also told me, well, I have to do this because I told such and such I was gonna wait. And then I'm like, you're doing a lot of telling such and such you're going. And the reason why I can say this to her is because she does the same stuff to me, and that we're reflecting. I'm like, girl, you keep carrying too much.
Yep.
We keep carrying too much, and as we wind down in this winter break, I need you to take a winter break because we're not going into a new year with all this. And 2026 is about to be a doozy. We gotta prepare.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta prepare.
Yeah. I've been doing some of my end of year reflection. And as I shared in an earlier episode, my word of the year was fortify. And I felt pretty good about how that showed up in my life, but I'm trying to figure out what my reflection is telling me about what my word will be for next year.
That was a great reminder because I always like doing that, my reflection time and pulling out that hold on. I'm trying to find the workbook. What's the lady whose thing you go on?
The annual clarity retreat with Dr. Kelli and Rockmore. I can put the link in the chat.
I have the workbook somewhere. Oh, I see it. The annual clarity retreat workbook.
Yes, that it is.
So I use that just to kind of like distill down everything. But you reminded me, this is for those who are just listening, I'm pointing behind me in my office to my vision board, which I do every year. I've been doing every year for the past probably 15 years. And my theme for this year was creativity is my superpower, faith is my foundation. And on it, I had myself And I didn't even think about this when I was planning my party. I have a thing that says the 50s, let's celebrate, like a party. And then there's a woman in like sort of a vintagey reddish dress. And like the kind of the theme of my party is represented here, but I didn't even refer to this when I was planning the
I
party
love it.
at all. That's how a
Yeah.
manifestation works. You know, about there's about me doing music again. I started to tweak the recording and me singing again. And I was gonna sing at my party, which I did not, because I just felt like I didn't want to feel
Yeah.
pressured. But the next week, that Saturday, I did a holiday show that my friend was producing, and I sang live in front of an audience in a snowstorm, but for the first time in many years. So
Awesome.
I was able to manifest that. So all I'm saying is that vision boarding
It
is a
works.
practice that works, and it's amazing how I'm like, oh, I haven't looked at my vision board in a while, and I look back like, oh snap, like, but I'm using this, I'm referencing this every day, even
Yeah.
if I don't think I. So
Hmm.
so yeah, I'm excited for the time I'm gonna spend during the break working on my reflections and stuff and thinking
Maybe,
about what I want my new year to
maybe
look
we
like.
need to have a vision board party.
Yeah, we can have it online because I do mine on Canva now. I used to do it, with magazines, and I had a hard time like letting go of it first. And then once I started using Canva, I fell in love with doing Canva, and I felt like I could be more
Yeah.
creative
And as you see,
because I
you
wasn't
can just
limited.
print it out, send it to Kinko's
Yeah,
or your local print shop, and they can.
I just get it shipped to
Yeah.
my house. hmm
Awesome.
And I have another, I have the other ones. I take pictures of them every year so I can reference them. But yeah, having an online vision
We may
board party would be
we
fun.
may do that.
I,
Let us know when you listen to the episode. If we invite you, would you come to a vision board party?
yeah, that'd be great. I used to do vision board parties, with a couple of friends at my house. Especially when I first moved to Pittsburgh and I first bought my house, that was one thing I used to do with Danelle and Tanika and the kids and Melita, so yeah, that's a
Melissa,
great
I'm
idea.
so sorry that I didn't recognize that I was talking to you at the party. Y'all, I knew she looked like Melita's mom, but it just did not cross my mind that that's who I was talking to. I sent her
Melita,
a message
go
on
ahead.
LinkedIn. I was like, I'm making up for not knowing who I was talking to. Clearly, we need to spend a little more time together.
Speaking of Melita's mom, Miss Josie, we celebrated her 80th this
Oh,
weekend.
cool.
She turned 80 today. Wait, no, her birthday's the 8th. She turned 80 on the 8th, and then they had a party for her this past Sunday. It was another snowstorm, but people came out. Was it Sunday it was Sunday? It was Sunday. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Melita and her brother threw their mama 80th birthday party, so we celebrated another Sag. We had a good time. The food was bomb diggy. I forgot the name of the caterer, but black woman caterer.
Very, very
A time was had.
I love it.
So it's been a very celebratory time. Mr. Will's birthday, shout out to Mr. Will. His birthday was 2 days after mine on the
Very
6th.
cool.
So we got a lot of Sages in my.
And what do y'all act like? I think I know, but I have
Sages?
Yes.
Well, I make a distinction between November Sages and December Sages. There's some crossover.
Okay.
Tanika is a November Sag. There are lots of ways where we do crossover where we are the most justifying Negroes. Like we will justify anything. Like
you're
like,
making my whole life make sense. Keep going.
Yeah. Like I'm not like Danelle and Tanika always bring up the example of like I'll be like, yeah, just I'm letting y'all know I'm not shopping no more. So if you see me trying to buy something, like I'm not supposed to be shopping. I did this to them one time, like 8 years ago, or whatever, and they never let me live it down. And then like maybe 30 days later, I was like, yeah, I got to go get this thing. Oh wait, no, you said you wasn't shopping no more. I said, oh yeah, I know that, but no, you said you wasn't shopping no more. Well, and then I will justify and stand on business and not even like feel bad or nothing. Because I'm like, I have found a justification for my behavior and there's nothing you gonna say to make me feel like I didn't do what I was supposed to do.
Ooh, you are giving me some insight today. Thank you.
So parenting a Sag like me is difficult in sneak. So there's lots of intersections, but then I think me as a December woman Sag is there's lots around big adventurous and travelers and all that stuff, and I have some of that. Some Sages are supposed to be like super like sensual and stuff. I don't have that part. Very I want very blunt, I guess, or transparent. They're gonna say they're Sag is generally the ones that'll say the thing in the room that needs to be said, but nobody else wants to say it. How about
Okay.
that? But we're a fire sign, and I think I am very saggy. I think I'm kind of textbook saggy.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, I was on a call with a client who's a Leo, and
It's fire sign.
she explained something to me, and I said, "You just helped me understand my grandgirl. I thank you for the light. That's all I needed." So, as much as church people be feeling some kind of way about the signs, the people followed the stars. Did they not? Did they not? Weren't they charting in things? Like there is a biblical piece to this. It's not just all man influenced, if you will. But so it's interesting.
Yeah, there's a drop of like things. Most things don't just fall out of thin air. There's a drop of something there, which is why people. What happens is people take it, run with it, and make a grift out of anything.
Oh yeah.
Even real things, right? So, but yeah, I just don't like when people like wholly reject things. Like, well, that's not a thing. Well, it is a thing. Or like even like when racists try to come for Kwanzaa and say Kwanzaa is a made up holiday and Christmas is not.
It is such a made up holiday.
Yeah, like we are not denying the birth of Christ, but what we not gonna do is pretend like Christmas was something as we were celebrated is something that was written in the text as a foregone conclusion.
Oh, speaking of, so Joyanne Reed ended up in a firestorm because she shared that young person's historical analysis of Jingle Bells.
Mm-hmm. I saw
and then she decided to take it one step further, and I forget the name of the ancient festival that Christmas is rooted off of, but we'll put it in the show notes because I was like, Joy is having way too much fun at how this young person has made the church people lose their ever-loving minds. Because Jingle Bells is not a song about the reindeer.
Every year we find out, more and more about how everything is like literally everything is racist.
Say it again.
In the era of we ain't allowed to say race or racist or black or brown or woman or independence or justice or equity or belonging or blah blah blah
blah blah blah blah.
Crazy times. Hey, this is also the day for those who listen to this on the historical record in the future. Today is again December 19th, 2025, and this is the day that after 24 hours after a bogus vote, they renamed the Kennedy Center the Donald J. Trump and the John F. Kennedy Memorial Center for the arts. First of all, there's too many does. That's where you already went wrong. It says this literally on the wall. It says the Donald J. Trump and the John F. Kennedy. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? And then you've seen our good sis from the great state of Ohio, who is on the board. What's her name?
Oh, Joyce, the black woman Joyce. Who said they muted her?
Yeah, got muted during the vote, which they claim was unanimous.
Yeah. What a time to be alive where lies are like known lies are paraded as the truth. It's one thing for people to not know and then later find out it's a lie, but y'all just don't even know the truth. You are a liar and the truth is not in you. It's basically what I'm trying to say.
Lies, lies, using liars alibis. Remember that song about Info?
They've been having a time.
Child, I thank God every day that I never really did live the life that I thought I wanted to live for part of my life, which was to be like a signed R&B phenomenon. Because it just feels like back to your high, highs are very high and lows are very lows. I feel like there's a moment in time where there's people who came up in the lives that we thought we wanted, had like what seemed to be these ultimate highs, but the lows be lowing.
Yeah.
The lows be lowing.
And the stars just be falling.
Yeah, it's very Did I ever tell about the time when my uncle was trying to work on getting me to be in Vogue?
I do not know if I remember.
So at one point, what's the man's name? Something Payne. He's Ronnie DeVoe's uncle or something. But Ronnie DeVoe's uncle used to be like he used to like choreograph and stuff for New Edition and do all that stuff. And at one point, I think he started working with En Vogue. This is when I guess when they had already started to like break off and not be the 4 women anymore. And it was like 2 stayed on and 2 went away. And they were looking for new people. And that is around the time when I was in the Oprah magazine, which came out September 2001. So around September 11th. Yeah. It was just I was 25, yeah. And my uncle showed it to them. And they were like, oh yeah, and she sings it. And my uncle was like, mention it. And I was like, oh yeah, I would audition. But then it just never came together. I was like, can you imagine if I would have ended up in Vogue? My life would be completely different.
And the way they did that girl, my Lord. I know someone who knows her, and so she was very, very distraught. But yeah, people just gonna people every time.
Speaking of En Vogue in Oakland, California, I think I mentioned this a few months back, but I have to really shout out Raphael Sadiq for his one-man show that he did. He's been on tour doing a one-man show where I thought it was just going to be him and an acoustic guitar, just like doing an acoustic show. No, this man is like, listen, I'm about to be 60. I'm in my introspective bag. And he did an actual one-man show where he talked about growing up in Oakland. He talked about his family. There was so much about his life that I learned that day. I knew that Dwayne Wiggins, his brother who passed away, was his half brother, but I didn't really know the dynamics of his family and who was raising who and how he. It was incredible and it was beautiful. It was touching. And just to know that his brother passed and we've since lost D'Angelo.
Yeah.
But also just a reminder of like how much at that moment in time Oakland was like an epicenter of so much important music in that time period. But shout out to Raphael Sadiq. I mean, we knew he was that dude and he was a genius, but like legit.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned D'Angelo, and I just want to say, when people invite you to their funerals for their loved ones, let's stop with the pictures and the taking the pictures and the posting the pictures when people ask you to not do that.
Yeah.
It's just so disrespectful.
Yeah, it's just part and parcel of like this idea of needing to be, as they say in Hamilton, in the room where it happens. Even people who are always in the room where it happens get gassed sometimes by being in the room where it happens. And, I won't pretend like there weren't moments in time, and there are still moments in time in my life where I want to be in the room where it happens. But not to that extent where like I want to like, lessen the sacredness of that. Like we need to still have spaces of sacredness, spaces of like, okay, I was there. I know this seems like a non sequitur, but it just reminds me of when we went to Silk Sonic and we were like, oh man, we can't have our phones. But man, the experience we had because we couldn't have our phones. Like you had to be there was the real thing. Like whoever was there at that moment for the show that we went to, which was our first concert post-pandemic.
Yeah.
We were still technically in the pandemic, but you know what I mean? There's sacredness to that, and let's embrace that. And I think, I want to chastise the people, but I also just think that we've created a culture where nothing is sacred anymore. So we need to get back to that.
And we can make it that, right? Like we can set a new trend of presence.
Yeah. Because just like scrolling is an addiction, I think always having to document everything on your phone is an addiction. I could be the first to admit. Recently, I've been doing like you know what, like I'm gonna do my little 30 seconds, and then I'm gonna put my phone down.
Okay.
Yes, but that's when I'm recording and capturing. My scrolling game is still too intense. It's way too intense.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to figure out the balance of being plugged in and being checked out because I just have a lot of work to do, and I want to grind for myself next year. I have some personal goals that I'm starting to write out and really want to work toward. I said next year is not the year for me to be modest. I need to be talking about the work that I'm doing. And so just trying to figure out what is the harmony that I want to achieve with all of that. Because I do want to protect my well-being, but I also still want to be engaged in community. So just thinking about that a little bit.
Word.
Yeah.
That's yeah. I fully support that. I do think, I said something to somebody recently. We were talking about my favorite film of all time, All About Eve, and in one of the scenes, one of the protagonists, Addison DeWitt, says, "It's just as forced not to toot your horn as it is to toot it too loudly."
Yeah.
And these are the things I've been telling specifically women, and the women of all color, not just Black women. It's like I had to tell a person who worked for me, they're like, it's okay to like post about something great you did on LinkedIn. Oh, I don't want to be on there bragging. But you actually did do it.
Yeah.
You're not bragging. Like, you actually did do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody wanted to like quote them in a post about
Mm-hmm.
something, and I don't know, should my name be in the quote? It'll seem like I'm bragging about what we did. And I'm like, y'all, it's not bragging to tell the truth. Yeah. And part of storytelling is telling our story too. Like, we can't tell everybody else's story and then leave ourselves out of the equation. Because what I want to happen is somebody say, "Oh man, how did you do that?" I'm glad you asked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not with that, and I'm not like, now I don't necessarily speak of my work in whatever arena as much as other people would like me to. But that's one set of people. There are other people who think like, "Dad, Kendra, you be everywhere. You on LinkedIn, you on this, you on that." Like, yes, my platform is how I'm able to do the work that I do. You know what I mean? And so if I don't have a platform, if I don't provide the information on the platform, whether that be speaking engagements or posts,
absolutely.
And as long as your heart is pure, and you check yourself, but talk your shiz. Like, absolutely. We don't have to be braggadocious. And actually, in fact, I find a lot of the people who try to be, a lot of the people I have worked with over the years, I've been on earth long enough to experience people who try to act overly humble, but on the low, they're doing all the conniving things to take the credit and to take people's
the
positions.
false modesty.
And so,
yes.
You got the
yeah. No, that's real. I mean, I was talking to a colleague. She's like, "I just want my work to speak for itself." Your work can't speak. It's not human. Like, you have to be able to, and you can tell stories in a way that uplifts the work, and the collaboration and all the things. But if you created it, it's okay to say, yes, this group that I created has been doing some dope work, and I'm so proud to be in community with X, Y, or Z. There's a way to do it that honors your values and your positionality. But then you can't be complaining somebody else is getting all the shine and you think they ain't shit. Like, we have to be able to be present in those spaces.
Listen, for 17 years, I tried to let my work speak for me at another organization, and it did not bode well for me. It didn't. I won't say that. I had a good career there, but I was like, oh, I'm a hustler. I'm gonna do the work, and people recognize that, but I wasn't rewarded for it. I was just like, okay, you got it. You get to keep your job.
You're the worker. Yeah.
Right. But what I find now is I'm in my leadership bag. Like, I'm in my, like, oh man, like, actually, my storytelling is going to be through the people that I work with. So, like, most recently, I post on LinkedIn. So, like, we do a blog post about the work that we do. Last year, I wrote it. This year, I was like, they were like, well, who should author it? I was like, well, the person who helped me write it was our research assistant. Can we just make her the author? Like, it don't have to be me. Everybody knows I'm the head of social impact. So then I was able to post, this young woman who has been working with me, who just graduated from college, authored it. Here's my team. And for me, when my team, and I don't mean this, I'm not even trying to be fake modest about it. When my team is on fire, I feel good. Because I'm like, You know what I mean? Like that brings me so much joy. And that's when I realized, because when I was asked to do some like interim leadership work at my company, I'm like, man, do I want to be in the grind of the day-to-day of doing the IC work, or do I want to be a role manager and a leader? I'm like, I'm a good leader.
Yes, you are.
And I can get people to, like, think about it. There's me doing a bunch of things and having one impact. There's me leading 10 people
Yes.
and getting them to where the point where they can have impact. And then it's like, as a team, we're killing it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I don't need, it ain't about me, but, and it's a win-win because we all get to shine.
Absolutely.
But there's so many people who have not experienced that. They have not experienced leaders who want to see them shine.
That's right.
Like, and I also am at the point where I'm confident in myself that like everyone on my team can do really dope things, but ain't nobody me.
Mm-hmm.
Not meaning like I'm better than them. It's just like I have a unique positionality, a unique way that I'm entering into this situation, and they have their own unique thing, and their thing is not my thing.
Yep.
You know.
Yay.
So yeah, I'm all about, as you develop your theme for 2026, I'm all about like owning your power. I'm all about like, you know, like you are that, you know, like you are who, you know how they always say online, like she is who she thinks she is. You are, you know, I was like, oh, well, you know, I am who God thinks. Yes, but you are who you think you are too.
Yep.
So who do you think you are?
And don't be saying bad things about yourself. I always tell my family, don't talk about my husband or my daughter. Like, I wouldn't let nobody else talk about you, so I'm not going to let you talk about yourself. And we have to be that for ourselves. So, some of the ways that we have learned to be self-critical when we feel like we fall short, or we aspire to something greater and it's just feeling hard or difficult to get there. Baby, you got up this morning and you put in the time. We're going to celebrate, because it's sometimes 1 inch at a time to move towards the things that we say we want.
Amen. Let me tell you something. Well, the first dope thing about being 50 is that like you can even have a moment of like self-critique, but it doesn't have to be like, it doesn't have to be drawn out. It doesn't have to be like a punching session. It could just be like, oh girl, what was you thinking there? And move on. Like, for instance, I look at pictures from the party. I was like, oh man, when I started dancing, my corset was coming loose, as my belly was big and my thing was showing. And I was like, oh, that just meant I was having a good time. Let that have been 10 years ago. I'd be like, oh my God, this is devastating. This is showing. Or like, you know, I wish I would have sung. But then I was like, I know how I get when I don't perform better, and I want to have a good birthday. But then on Saturday, I performed at the holiday show, and I felt more liberated singing at that show than I had felt in probably since I was a kid, you know?
Happy.
And like, even though I had one part, I was like, okay, I messed up on that. But then I was like, oh, but I recovered nicely. You know, like my mentality at this point of things not being perfect, or, you know, and being able to be self-critical in a more affirming way, like, oh, you know, and move on from it. Oh man, like I think that's the best part about being 50. And I remember when I turned 40, people were like, wait till you turn 50.
It's different.
It's different. And so like I think that's one of the things, like, as at this point where I was starting to feel it in my late 40s, but like I already feel like, man, like, you know, okay. Like, for instance, I always say I want to get this Botox. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But if I want to, it's my prerogative. But it's not like, oh, I'm gonna die, I'm ugly.
Let's go together.
Because it just drives me crazy. I hate looking at a picture and I see that. But it doesn't mean I hate it. I hate myself.
Yeah. I told you, my neighbor one night texted me. It's like, you want to come over for a Botox party? I was like, I need a little more notice. I can't just.
That's how you know she live with the people with the money, because we don't have Botox party over here.
Get some Botox. I need to think about it.
I live very much in a Tupperware neighborhood. She live in a neighborhood mugs have Botox party.
I was like, oh my. But yes,
that's funny. You should go. You should have went and just said, you know what, I would like to just watch and see how it goes, and maybe next time I'll participate.
No.
Take a bottle of wine over, a little Chardonnay.
Think about and observe. Yeah, interesting. Anything else good in the group chat?
It amazingly, we haven't heard as much about sacred and
we have not. We've not heard about Sacred recently.
Actually, no, that's not true. So not in our group chat. So Danelle, Tanika, and I have a friend. She's like a big sister to us. She's in her 60s, artist, creative, and she's retired now. We used to be in a reading group with her, and she listens to the podcast, so she's gonna curse me out when she hears this. But she hates B. It's like she can't stand her. She's like, I don't know why y'all like her. I can't stand her.
Oh, wow.
She gonna send me and Danelle a picture today talking about, I wish I would have known this was her product before I start using it, but this is the best scalp conditioner I've ever had, and it was some Sacred. I said, you just hating for no reason. She's like, no, this product is amazing, but like, I wish I would have known it with her. I wouldn't have bought it.
And missed out on your scalp's blessing.
Imagine.
Hilarious.
Hating a Black woman that much, and you a Black woman. She's like, I just don't get it. I can't stand her.
She don't like that hero worship.
I was like, that's what it is. But I'm like, be mad at hate the game, not the player. Right? But when she sent that Sacred picture, I was crying. I won't lie. The Sacred products are amazing. Even though I'm still team Pattern Beauty, but I really do like the Sacred, especially the clarifying shampoo. But
I bought a mini set. I'm gonna have to give it a try.
So one thing I want to just talk about is like things you might want other people to hold you accountable for. I know some things we can speak of and some things we cannot. I was supposed to work on an academic article idea that's due December 31st for a journal coming out in 2027. And Sarah, my dear friend, who was also on my dissertation committee, gave me some resources to read, and I have not read any of them. I think it's December 19th. I don't know that I will be in a position to submit for that journal.
When is it due?
It's due December 31st, but I can't remember if it's just an abstract or if it's actual manuscript.
Okay.
I have to look. But even if I don't submit for that, I still need to like read during this break. I don't need to write a whole paper, but I need to like do some of the work towards that. Basically, what I was going to do is take some of my dissertation research and kind of write an article from it, but from like autoethnography standpoints. Since I was like squarely in all the work I was doing anyway as a Black feminist researcher. And so I'd like to revisit that.
I love it. Do it. I'm down to co-work anytime.
Yes. And I'm just saying that out loud because so Kelly can hold me accountable, but also some random people on the listen to the pod can send me IG
messages
and be like, hey, whatever happened with that article you said you were writing.
Yeah, don't withhold your gifts from the world.
Mm-hmm. The other thing I'm going to do is reach back out to my uncle and say, hey, I think he may be in California right now. I need you to go to the studio and mix those 4 songs. I need to put them out.
Awesome. Yes.
Yeah.
Kendra has some good stuff for us.
I also very much so want to get back into the studio with a band and do a jazz EP.
Yes, Holy Ghost.
I've been framing it out and been talking about it for years, but I was like, let me finish what I have. But yeah, after singing on Saturday, I was like, oh yeah, no, I need to do this.
Oh, that'd be so beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And it don't have to be no long drawn out thing. It could be 4 songs.
Okay.
I'm gonna start with that 4 song. EP is long enough for 4 or 5 the most.
I love it. I look forward to it. Are you writing?
Speaking of writing, where's my little Autogo? Greg bought me one of them Autogo things.
What's the Autogo?
Autogo is a little box like this big. It's basically a recording studio. It's this big, and it syncs with your iPhone. But the quality of the mic is really good. And then in the iPhone, there's an app that comes with it, and it's like you can do like a little, I think it's like 2 or 4 track, mix with like guitar or music, whatever. So I can record a pretty vocal. So it's a good thing to use when you're writing and stuff.
Nice.
Because you can get it good. So he bought it for me last Christmas, I believe, and I haven't. I've tested it out and I've carry it with me when I go places, but I haven't been using it. So, but I need to find it because it's in here. It must be in my purse or bag.
Okay.
I don't want to lose that.
Well, stay tuned. I have some big writing goals for next year. So I'm building out a lot of co-working time and have a schedule I'm working on and just trying to be realistic with my work schedule, like really maximizing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. to get a lot of it done. So that's happening. I really want to amplify my business next year. So really thinking about what that looks like. And I made a commitment. I spent a lot of time in building other people's business this year. And next year, I'm not doing that. I need to amplify this podcast. I need to amplify my work, on a whole. And so that feels really important. I haven't been walking, and so I'm ready to get back on my treadmill.
Same, as I look at my walking pad right in front of me that I haven't been on in months.
Yeah, so those are like some top ones. But I'm trying not to make too many. I'm gonna stick with therapy. As long as she keep taking my insurance, we gonna keep rocking. So yeah. I'm looking forward to 2026. Obviously, geopolitically, I'm not, but I'm really trying to put that in its own compartment and let that be what it is and let my life be what it's supposed to be.
Word. Yeah, I want to stay off of it. I'm glad that all we talked about today was the Kennedy Center debacle, because it feels good not to talk about it. I would love to, as we wrap up, think about what it would be like to do an episode that's kind of like the vision board party, like a special vision board special.
I like it.
That'd be cool.
Okay.
Well, I mean, what are the takeaways? I mean, it's just been a very fluid conversation per usual.
My takeaway is shine your light.
Oh, that reminds me of my party when it's like shine your light. Shine your light. Ow. Yeah, I love that. Shine your light.
Yep.
Okay, then my takeaway is I guess what I said earlier is that you are who you think you are. So who do you think you are?
Yeah, I love it. Awesome. Well, we're nearing the end of the season, y'all. So we will keep you posted on our finale date.
Yes, but I also just want to say, shout out to independent podcasts. This is a self-funded podcast, funded by us, for us, by us, produced by our dear friend and producer, Dr. Leatra Tate, who is also a podcaster and a podcast producer and a professor and a scholar and all the things. And although we are grateful for, the crew that we have, also shout out to Joe, our creative producer who does our socials and stuff. But, it would be great if you could go on to our website and consider becoming a subscriber and a member, so that we can get some additional support in doing this work. Or go to our website and buy some merch, because we have some cool This Woman is Work merch. So in this season, just asking that if you believe in the This Woman is Work movement, that you consider supporting it in whatever way you can. Because we would like to come back again next year and continue to do this. But
we're gonna have to have some coin to make that happen, y'all.
Yeah, because we have invested in ourselves, but now it's time for the seed that we planted to grow and bear some
good juicy fruit. Yes.
And that's the truth. But yeah, we look forward to talking to you again soon. And until then, be blessed.
Take care, y'all.